Okay, so if this is our terminal point, first let's plot this point and see which quadrant this point belongs to. So x is negative 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right here. And y is positive 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's going to be a point right here, which means our terminal site is going to be this. This is our terminal site. So that's the second quadrant. X is negative, y is positive. So then make a triangle here, form a right triangle here. Okay, so this side is positive 6, and this side here is negative 6. And then we'll just call this x. So we'll try to find x using the Pythagorean theorem. So that is x squared equals 6 squared plus negative 6 squared. X squared equals 36 plus 36. X squared equals 72. And then take the square root of both sides. So x equals 6 root 2. So this is 6 root 2. So our angle is going to be this angle. Going to be that angle, right? This is the theta, right? This is the theta that puts the point in the second quadrant. Now I will just have to compute the trig functions using this right triangle in the second quadrant. So let's start with the first one, cosine theta. And cosine theta is adjacent over hypotenuse in this triangle, right? Adjacent of theta. So normally we'll have a reference angle here, right? So this is a reference angle. So we're actually computing everything based on this reference angle. So cosine of theta is adjacent over hypotenuse. Adjacent is negative 6 and hypotenuse is 6 root 2. 6 cancels, so we'll get negative 1 over root 2. And then sine theta is going to be opposite over hypotenuse. Opposite is 6. Hypotenuse is 6 root 2. Cancel this out, so 1 over root 2. And then tangent is going to be opposite over adjacent. Opposite is 6. Adjacent is negative 6, so this is going to be negative 1. Okay, and then the other functions are just going to be the reciprocal of this. For instance, secant is reciprocal of cosine. So you just have to flip the fraction, which is negative root 2. And then the opposite of sine is cosecant. So cosecant theta is just going to be reciprocal of that fraction, which is root 2. And cotangent theta is reciprocal of tangent function, which will still be negative 1. So this is the sixth function, the values of sixth function if this is the terminal point. So you will just do basically similar things for the other type of terminal points. So for instance, for this right here, so number 4, this will be, if this is our terminal site, this is right on the x-axis, right? So you can't really form a triangle there, but we can do this. So 1, 2, that's this, 2, 0. So this is really just the x, and this is really just the y value, right? So remember, we write x. X is this. So we actually do cosine theta. So cosine theta is really just represented by x, and sine is just represented by y value. So in this case, I'll just write it like this. So remember, when you normally have a point right here, this point is xy, and if this is the radius of the circle, this is x, this is y, and if this is angle, then the cosine theta will just be x over r, and therefore r is just going to be the distance from this to the point, right? So if you look at the distance from here to the point, that distance is 2. So basically our r is 2 here, and x is 2. So if I do 2 divided by 2, then cosine theta will actually equal to 1. So cosine theta equals 1. And same sine theta, since the y value is 0, so sine theta is still 0. And tangent is sine over cosine, so tangent will be 0 too, right? So tangent is 0 over 1, which is 0. Now if you do the reciprocal, secant theta will be 1, because reciprocal of 1 is 1. And secant, the reciprocal of 0 is undefined, because you will have 1 over 0, which is undefined. And same thing here, the reciprocal of that is cotangent, and that's also undefined. Reciprocal of 0 is undefined. So for points lying on the x-axis and y-axis, and that's exactly how we do. So cosine will always be 1, and sine will always be 0 on the x-axis. If your point is on y-axis, then it's just the other way around.